Mr. Mahlangu, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Now, the commission is due to resume on Tuesday. Will it be probable that it will go ahead without Advocate Mpofu?
Well, the chair of the commission, Judge Falam, earlier today spoke to Dali Mpofu himself, whom we are told has been released from hospital. But the commission will resume on Tuesday as planned. But the implications are different due to his circumstances. What is likely to happen on Tuesday is that the sequence of the proceedings at the commissions will change slightly, so that Dali Mpofu and his team could be given an ample time, to recover and plan ahead going forward. The commissioner. The National Commissioner, General Ria Priega, will still appear on Tuesday. The Commission will give an opportunity to other participants in the commission to cross-examine her.
Now, he'd made an application for the inquiry to be moved from Rustenburg to either Pretoria or Johannesburg. Will this be so?
That is part of the slight change that I spoke about earlier on. That application would not be heard on Tuesday. We would want Dali Mpofu himself to come back after he's recovered fully, to come and argue his case in the commission himself.
Can you tell us why he's pushing for it to be moved from Rustenburg?
Well, the application that has been lodged includes mainly economical factors. There are a number of people who are participants in the commission who feel that the cost of commuting between Joburg, Pretoria and Rustenburg is proving to be costly for them. And you would also remember that there's been an extension of the work of the commission. So that did impact negatively on some of them. In fact, a number of other participants in the commission financially, so yes.
Now, you mentioned that you're still waiting for him to come back, but are you able to tell us where the process is at the moment?
Well, in terms of the sequence of events in the commission, we still are to hear some evidence from a number of other witnesses that are going to be called. On Tuesday, we'll probably, in most likelihood, complete the cross-examination of National Commissioner General Priega, and thereafter it will be General Anandale who will also come at the commission.
Now, is it likely that Advocate Dumisa Njebeza might take over from Advocate Mpofu?
Well, we don't know that. That will be a matter between their lawyers to guide the commission in terms of how they propose to continue with the participation in the commission. How
forthcoming have witnesses been at the commission?
Well, you would know because of the gravity of the situation, in terms of the commission's work itself. It's quite a lot of work, which is very detailed. You're dealing with people's emotions. We're dealing with a number of witnesses that have been affected directly. You're talking about a number of people that have been injured and arrested. Talking about a significant portion of number of people that have lost their lives in this debacle. So really, from a commission's point of view, our interest is not necessarily to rush the work of the commission. We have to be thorough to ensure that we fulfill the mandate that we've been given by the President of the country to complete the work of the commission.
Now, you spoke a little bit earlier about National Police Commissioner Ria Priega going back on the stand. There's been a lot of criticism leveled against her during this inquiry. How do you think she's been doing on the stand?
Well, we can't really comment on that. We are guided by the terms of reference of the commission. It's not for us to pass judgment in terms of how she's performing in the commission. Clearly, she's been given an opportunity as well to set the record straight insofar as the role of the South African Police Service is concerned. So really, we would not want to comment or preempt what the commission's report is going to be once the commission conclude its work.
A burning question that most people would like to know would like to have answered rather, is what has emerged as the main reason for the police's action on that day?
Well, again, this is subject of investigation. This is why the commission has been set up in the first place, to investigate the role that the police have actually played on that specific day in August last year. So all these are matters that the investigation is looking into, and of course, again, we would not want to preempt what is going to come out of the commission in terms of the report that the commissioners will put together and submit to the head of the country.
You mentioned that National Police Commissioner Ria Peja is going on the stand next week. Can you tell us which other witnesses will go on the stand next week?
Once General Peja finishes with testimony, following her would be General Annandale, who also played a significant role in the day of the shooting. So he'll also be given an opportunity, to testify at the commission.
Now, the mandate from the presidency was the commission would submit a written report every month. Have you done so?
The terms of reference have been amended to allow the commission to do its work, upon which date where the commission completes its work, it has to then submit a report within 6 weeks. So it's no longer monthly, but it will be combined report within 6 weeks of the completion of the commission's work.
Will these reports be made public?
They will not be made public. They'll be given to the State President of the country, and of course with recommendations as to how the country should respond to all these issues and how this situation can actually be avoided going forward. But these are matters that the President will actually guide the nation going forward.
Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
You're most welcome.
That was the Marikana Commission of Inquiry spokesperson, Tshepo Mahlangu. The commission resumes its work on Tuesday next week.